Mike Mitchell, the director of Kung Fu Panda 4, has sparked excitement and speculation by hinting at the development of a fifth installment. According to Mitchell, Poe's journey is far from over, and we won't have to endure another 8-year wait between movies. Instead, he suggested that Kung Fu Panda 5 could arrive approximately 3 years after the release of the fourth, setting the potential premiere around 2027. However, those hoping for a quicker follow-up may need to temper their expectations, as DreamWorks already has Shrek 5 slated for release in 2026, making it unlikely that both films would share the spotlight in close succession. Mitchell encouraged fans to keep an eye out for official announcements, but reactions to the franchise's trajectory have been sharply divided. While the original Kung Fu Panda was a groundbreaking blend of heartfelt storytelling and dazzling animation, the sequels and spin-offs haven't quite maintained the same magic. The threequel, for instance, struggled to recapture the emotional depth and narrative finesse of the first two. Meanwhile, the franchise's extended universe through spin-offs and TV adaptations has often felt like a watered-down echo of its former glory. This raises an important question. Is Kung Fu Panda at risk of becoming a franchise that overstays its welcome? For some, the promise of a fifth part offers hope for a creative resurgence, while others remain skeptical, fearing it might further dilute what was once a beloved series. With DreamWorks juggling major projects like Shrek 5, the challenge lies in ensuring Kung Fu Panda doesn't become just another cog in the studio's content machine. Poe's story might not be over, but whether it can reclaim its place as a powerhouse of animated storytelling remains to be seen. When news broke about the release of a full-length fourth part, many hoped for the return of beloved characters and a triumphant revival of the franchise. Instead, what audiences got was the opposite. One of the most anticipated movies of the year ended up being a disappointment. Predictable storytelling, lackluster fight scenes, and the mishandling of iconic villains left fans frustrated. Tai Lung was at least given a few lines. Lord Shin and Kai were relegated to mere background filler. Their inclusion didn't just feel lazy, it blatantly trampled on the franchise's established lore. For DreamWorks, known for its usually meticulous attention to detail, this was an uncharacteristic blunder. The frustrations didn't stop there. The Furious Five were shockingly reduced to a fleeting cameo during the credits. Meanwhile, key characters from earlier installments were sidelined entirely in favor of introducing a new Dragon Warrior. It was a bold move that, in theory, could have breathed new life into the series. But let's be honest, it didn't work. Instead of breathing new life into the franchise, Kung Fu Panda 4 feels more like the nail in its coffin. Even the idea of Tigra stepping up as the new Dragon Warrior would have been a far more natural progression. Her character is already deeply rooted in the series, and her arc has resonated with fans over the years. Choosing to introduce a completely new protagonist, who feels disconnected from the franchise's foundation, smacks of a desperate attempt to cash in on nostalgia without offering meaningful storytelling. It's a hollow gesture wrapped in the guise of fan service. While Kung Fu Panda 4 isn't the weakest DreamWorks movie to have turned out recently, it still pales in comparison to the trilogy. Some would argue the franchise should have gracefully ended with its third installment. Yet Mike Mitchell doesn't share this sentiment. The director remains optimistic about the future of the series, insisting that the industry is always evolving. He has even teased plans for a fifth part, suggesting it could premiere as early as 2027 if it gets the green light. Mitchell promises to put the Furious Five back in the spotlight, deliver more thrilling action sequences, and explore new, exciting settings to re-engage audiences. For all its flaws, Kung Fu Panda 4 still managed to rake in nearly $540 million worldwide on a relatively modest $85 million budget. With numbers like these, it's almost a foregone conclusion that DreamWorks will push forward with another sequel. After all, in Hollywood, money speaks louder than critical or fan sentiment. So, while the future of the franchise feels precarious, it's not entirely out of the fight just yet. Whether Kung Fu Panda can claw its way back to greatness remains to be seen. Stay tuned.